All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ruchak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. And salutation and much love to you, Akim, out there pushing out his word in truth and sincerity. This is the brother Osh from the Great Millstone Tampa Church. Just doing a quick video, Lord's will, and it's edifying. Speaking on the chariots, just was meditating on that a little earlier, so Lord's will do an edifying quick lesson on it concerning the chariots. So we'll go ahead and start at Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1. It says, Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. So the dimensions of the chariot was being described. All right, the shape of it. Okay. And it wasn't a piece of bread flying through the air. All right. Or a scroll flying through, an actual scroll flying through the air. This is a chariot of the Lord. The same way the Lord left is the same way that he's coming back. And he left in a chariot. All right. Sometimes it's called clouds. All right. Throughout the scriptures, they're called clouds, pillars of fire. All right. So on and so forth. Verse 3, here's the point. It says, Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off. And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. All right, so, that's the point I wanted. And, the point of it is being a curse over the whole earth. As a matter of fact, let's get that in the blue letter. See what the word curse there is. Switch back to the English Bible. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 5, verse 3. It says, for the word curse. Interesting. Is Allah, oath, Allah, it's not Allah, it's in power, so Allah. Oh crap, Salakia. It says oath, a curse from God, from men, execration. That's a good, interesting word there. Let's get that word. So we want to get the full understanding real quick of these words. Execration, cursing, act of laying under a curse, malediction, curse, to hate, curse, to devote to holiness or destruction. Ooh, there we go. That's what's going to bring destruction along with the chariots. With the missiles. Okay. All right. Pursuing the Isaiah chapter 66. We'll go to that real quick. All right. It says, For behold, Yahweh will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. So the Lord, on the day of the Lord, all right, he's going to return. The chariots are going to be bringing two things, salvation and destruction. Okay. Right along with those missiles. Okay. The ICBMs. And that's going to be a curse from the Most High upon this earth. Or destruction. What else is said? Crap. Slovakia. That word excretion. Destruction. All right. To devote to holiness or to destruction. Consecrate. All right. And this place is going to be destroyed. All right. America. Via these thermonuclear missiles and the chariots of the Lord. So that's why it's considered the curse that goeth over the whole earth. Okay, and let's just read some of the examples or the descriptions of how they're going to do that. Bring this the destruction. All right. This is Habakkuk chapter 3 verse 4. And this brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand, and this is talking about a chariot, okay? It says, and he had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power. So what is that talking about? It's talking about these laser beams, okay, that the chariots of the Lord will be shooting out. Let's go to that in the blue letter as well, Habakkuk 3 and 4. Let's get the word there for, and his brightness was as the light. He had horns, which is Quran. It says horn, flask of rays of light. Okay, so what is that? Those rays of light. A ray of light. Okay, laser beams. To shine. This is the root. Quran. Okay, it says to shine, and not the Quran and the book. I'll be simple. It says to shine, to send out rays, to display or grow horns, be horn. Okay, so to shoot out horns, which horns is just symbolic, for power. Just like a bull without horns is powerless. A rhino without his horn would be powerless. But with those horns, that's their power. Okay. So let's go back to Habakkuk 3. It says, in his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power. So that's where his power is coming from again. It's those laser beams that the chariots will be blasting people with. All right, you see the movie World of Wars. They show you different examples of that. Okay, them zapping people to dust. All there was that was left was dust and the smell of smoke. Before him went the pestilence, and burning coals went forth at his feet. He stood and measured the earth. He beheld and drove asunder the nations, and the everlasting mountains were scattered. The perpetual hills did bow, his ways are everlasting. So what? The nations are going to be, the mountains, talking about the governments, all right, they're going to be scattered, man. They're going to be brought low. All right, they're going to be destroyed. So let's go to another example, because this has happened before. The chariots of the Lord have intervened before and shot these laser beams, or the horn in his hands, as it said in Habakkuk. This is Psalms 18 and 6. In my distress I called upon Yahweh and cried unto my power. He heard my voice out of his temple, and my cry came before him, even into his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations also of the hills moved and were shaken, because he was wroth. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. He bowed the head, and this is talking about a chariot. All right, what the world ignorant calls UFOs. It says verse 9, he bowed the heavens also, and came down, and darkness was under his feet. He rode upon a cherub, and did fly. Yea, he did fly upon the wings of the wind. What is that? It's his chariot. The chariots, they fly. Okay, and that's what he's describing here. Verse 11, he made darkness his secret place. His pavilion round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of skies. At the brightness that was before him, his thick clouds passed, hailstones and coals of fire. Yahweh also thundered in the heavens, and the highest gave his voice, hailstones and coals of fire. So these are these laser beams coming out. And he's going to prove it here. It says, yea, he went out. So like he sent out his arrows and scattered them, and he shot out lightnings and discomforted them. What is that? That is the chariots of the Lord just zapping people. All right, because again, let's go to that, because it says discomforted, but let's see what it really means by that. What these laser beams are doing, it ain't gonna make you feel uncomfortable. Okay, it's not gonna discomfort you. This what it really means. In Psalms 18 and 14, when it says discomforted, it says hamam. It says to move. Here it goes. It says, the Strong's definition, it says to disturb, drive, destroy, break, consume, crush, destroy, to impel. Okay, these things are going to destroy people. These lights, these arrows are going to just kill people, man. It says scattered. It says to scatter, disperse, to dash to pieces. These things is gonna these lights, all right, these arrows that are gonna be shot from the chariots, they're gonna dash people into pieces, man. All right, so that's a plain, clear-cut example. So now let's get when the Lord's gonna return. Is that Second Ezra 13? Okay. Let me start at verse 2. Second Ezra 13 and 2 or 3. And I beheld, and lo, the man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, which is Yahushai. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. Why is it going to be seen under him? Because he's coming back in the clouds, the chariots. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth felleth when it feeleth the fire. Because what? That's talking about them laser beams, all right? The weapons of the chariot, so to say. It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. And this is that battle that talks about in Revelation, the war in heaven. All right, Michael and his angels and Satan and his angels, which is going to be all the nations trying to fight against the Lord. Spearheaded by Esau, Edom himself. But verse 6 it says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. So that's the chariot. That's how big the mountain is. I mean, the chariot is going to look like a mountain. Verse 7, but I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not. So the Lord is going to come on a chariot. Ezra was looking for where this mountain just came out of, where it was carved out of the earth, but he couldn't find it because it's going to come from the skies. All right. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were to gather together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. So that the Lord is gonna make, all right, these nations fight him, even though they're gonna be shitting their pants. All right. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But I only saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of the lips of a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. So laser beams, high intensity, concentrated light. All right, this is going to be how these chariots are going to devour, all right, Satan and his army. Verse 11, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So all is going to be left of this militaries is just dust, okay, and smell of smoke. Because them laser beams are far superior to the lasers that Esau has, and you can see right now. Okay, we're talking about, laser chariots that are coming from a different dimension with far superior technology. Just gonna devour, okay, the multitude that's gonna fight against the Lord. This is why the chariots are a curse over the whole earth. Shalom.